What is up, New York Giants fans? D. Illa here. I wanted to come out and make a video and explain to you why I am so adamant about trading Dexter Lawrence. Now, let me make this perfectly clear to everyone out there. If this team, because I haven't done this in the past, okay, so I understand why people would sit there and look at me like I'm crazy when I talk about this or have some kind of negative opinion about me when it comes to talking about trading Dexter Lawrence. Let me make this perfectly clear. If this team was built and ready to win right now, there is no way in hell I am even bringing this up. Not at all. Is it not even a thought in my mind? No way I'm trading Dexter Lawrence. The fact of the matter is, this team is not ready to win right now. There is so much work that needs to be done to this football team. We don't have a quarterback. We're missing secondary pieces. We're missing linebackers. We're missing offensive linemen. Now, I know we've brought in offensive linemen this offseason, but nobody can come out here and tell me that this offensive line is fixed just yet. You will not know that until we're a good 8 to 10 weeks into the season and we see how this offensive line performs out there on the field. This team has brought in offensive lineman options in the past that did not work out. So you cannot just assume because players were brought in that they are going to go out there and get the job done. I mean, depth within itself on this football team is a major issue at all positions. And that has been one of the reasons why this football team has had issues in the past. Once one of our key guys goes down, we don't have the players behind that specific player to help it continue to win. And this has been a major issue for us for years. And this is something that you have to establish over time. And depth is something that we don't even begin to have right now. On top of the starting positional players that we don't have right now. We've got to get the starting pieces in place before we even add the depth. We've lost the safety. Yes, we re-signed Darnay Holmes. We lost Adoree Jackson. A good portion of our secondary has been wiped out. We have two solid linebackers in Bobby Okereke and McFadden. Isaiah Simmons, whether he's going to be back, is still a complete unknown. Daniel Jones is a complete afterthought at this point. Yes, I understand Daniel Jones is going to come back and probably be the starter for this team this year. But other than that, I'm already looking at Daniel Jones like he's out the door. If you think any different and you think that situation is going to turn into something else and Daniel Jones is going to have this miraculous comeback in his career and he's going to turn out to be this franchise quarterback that y'all have hoped him to be, like he's completely out to lunch. We're 6 years in at this point. That boat has left the dock and has sailed away. Goodbye. We need a quarterback on this football team. In no way does this team become a legit contender to win a Vince Lombardi trophy until that quarterback is put in place. Unless people out there seem to believe we're going to turn into the old school Jets with Mark Sanchez at quarterback and we're just going to have this dominant defense that, you know, gets to the AFC Championship and then loses like the Jets used to. Is that what this team's eventually going to turn into? Is this what you guys are trying to accomplish out here without a quarterback? Because that's what I think. So when it comes to trading Dexter Lawrence, I look at Dexter. And again, I know what Dexter Lawrence is as a player. I know how he's viewed as a player across the league. You see the NFL Top 100 list on the NFL Network. You see how he's viewed by his peers. He's a very respected player. I know this. I'm no fool. I got all this giant shit on my walls around my room. I don't just put this on my walls for no reason at all and make these videos to just come out here and talk out my ass. Dexter Lawrence is the only player on this roster that has legitimate trade value. Significant trade value. He just signed a 4-year, $90 million contract. Year one starts this year. You trade him. There's no work that needs to be done on a contract. Everything's all worked out. The details have all been ironed out. It's a very smooth transition for whoever acquires him. So when you have a team that needs positional players on defense, on offense, needs a quarterback, you cannot afford to trade your draft capital. So in any kind of trade that you may present to the opposition, you are trying your best to preserve your draft capital and protect it. So when you're trying to do that, what do? You look at the roster and you identify the players that have value, that can minimize the draft pick output in a trade. And I'm looking right at Dexter Lawrence and that 4-year, $90 million contract. Hell, man, we could draft a wide receiver at 6 and potentially trade back up to get a guy like McCarthy if he falls out of the top 10, or get a guy like Michael Penix. You could use Dexter Lawrence potentially to make that happen. Or you could trade up to 3, like I've brought up in the shorts, to trade with the Patriots, because the Patriots have put it out there that they're more than willing to trade this pick. And you have a first-year head coach, former linebacker, Jerod Mayo, who is going to stress defense on his football team. There is no doubt about that. And like I said, I would dangle Dexter Lawrence in front of him like a steak in front of a tiger, just to see if he'd bite. If that's what it took to get Drake May or Jaden Daniels, if it took us sacrificing Dexter Lawrence to get one of those players, so be it, man. It is so much harder to find a franchise quarterback than it is to find an interior defensive lineman that can give you competent defensive line play. Now, of course, the other players that we bring in to replace Dexter Lawrence will never be Dexter Lawrence. That's not going to happen. But at the same time, they don't have to be Dexter Lawrence. They just have to be good enough to get the job done. And you can start over fresh and not have a $90 million contract on the books over the next 4 years. Again, I get what Dexter Lawrence is, man. Dexter Lawrence is a good player. I'm not going to call Dexter Lawrence a great player yet, because he's only been in the league for, 5 years at this point. So I can't put him in great status yet. Is he on his way? He's working his way there. And like I brought up before, this is a man that carries 330 pounds of weight on a 6'4" frame. I'm not trying to fat shame anybody out here, so don't even come at me like that. Don't have nothing to do with that. But I know damn good and well the human body can only take so much, especially at that height and at that weight, playing professional football at the interior defensive line spot, going up against huge offensive linemen 18 games out of the season every single year, that is going to wear and tear on his body over the next 3 to 4 seasons, and there ain't no way in hell anybody out there can tell me any different. And if you do, you are lying straight to my face. Dexter Lawrence is not indestructible. Eventually, he's going to break down. Like I said, we're already 5 years in on Dexter Lawrence's career. Do you think Dexter Lawrence is still going to be the same player that he is now 3 to 4 seasons from now? I highly doubt it. I would be extremely surprised if that took place. So again, if we could end up with Drake May or Jaden Daniels for Dexter Lawrence and pick 6, or we could end up with Neighbors McCarthy or Odunze McCarthy or Penix Neighbors or Penix Odunze over Dexter Lawrence and maybe a draft pick or 2, man, you give me those 2, the quarterback and wide receiver, over Dexter Lawrence all day long. I will start my franchise with those 2 pieces over Dexter Lawrence any day of the week. Because those 2 pieces will get this team where it needs to go a hell of a lot faster than just having Dexter Lawrence on this team. Now they have to work out at the same time. Dexter Lawrence has already worked out, and I get that. But quarterback is a crapshoot, man. You never know what you're going to get, ever. It's just a roll of the dice, but you got to roll them dice, man. You got to roll them dice or you ain't never going to bring one in. The only other option you have is to hope that a team releases a franchise guy and you're able to obtain him. And that doesn't happen. I'm a big picture guy, man. I'm not all about this year. And I feel like that's how a lot of fans are, and that's how a lot of content creators out here, and maybe they kind of pander to the fan base just to make people happy. They put content out there that gives people hope that the team could be more than what it really should be in that given season. And that's kind of what got us in trouble last year and put us in the position that we're in right now at 6 in no man's land, to the point where we can't get a quarterback right now. But again, it's not like I don't know what Dexter Lawrence is, man. I know exactly what he is. Like, don't look at me like I'm some kind of fool when I bring this up. Like, I'm just looking to make a move as a fan, because that's what I do. I'm a fan, man. I'm not out here reading an article on the internet and then coming back out here and writing and making a video for people to watch. Or like anytime somebody breaks wind inside the New York Giants building, I'm coming out here and reporting it. I don't do that. I'm a fan, man. I'm not a news reporter for the New York Giants. I give my opinion on what I feel are the right things to do. Now, am I right? I'm not saying I'm right. But at least at the same time, I'm not out here just regurgitating the same baloney information that everybody else is. I'm giving you something else to think about. Can you please like my video and subscribe to my channel? If you could take the time out of your busy schedule to do so, I'd really appreciate it. I'm not going to let you down when it comes to talking about the New York Giants. And again, not everything I say on here needs to be taken to heart. Sometimes I get a little pissed off because I get a little frustrated with the fan base and how they view this team. And I know there's a lot of kids out here that watch these videos that haven't been a fan of this team for 20 plus years, like I have, pushing close to 30 years at this point. So, you know, their views on how to build a football team are completely different than mine. They're more all about results, you know, taking place now as opposed to being patient, even though we've been patient for 13 years now, and I understand that. But still, this team, even after 13 years, it's still miles away from being a team like the San Francisco 49ers. Like, that's the point we're trying to get to right now, is to be the 49ers. Have a good defense, good quarterback in place. Now, obviously, they got lucky, hit on one late. But we don't have a Brandon Ayuk. We don't have a George Kittle. We don't have a Deebo Samuel. We don't have a Christian McCaffrey. We don't have anything that resembles that to make this team even comparable to the San Francisco 49ers. That takes time, and that takes dedication to going out and scouting players and bringing in the proper talent through drafts, through free agency, and acquiring these players that way. It doesn't just happen with the snap of a finger. But that's it for the video. I know it's a long one. Most people won't sit through it. Most people will probably watch half of this, probably turn it off, won't like the video, won't subscribe to my channel. And it is what it is. And I know probably sometimes it has something to do with this, the gray hair I've got on my face. I'm the old guy out here talking about it. I'm not the hip channel. I don't have the intro song. I don't have the cool graphics or any of that stuff. I'm just out here talking New York Giants football, and that's it. So I kind of get it if you don't want to subscribe to my channel just because of that. I'm not necessarily too pleasing to the eye. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoy your day. Enjoy this Friday and enjoy your weekend. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Take it easy. Bye.